Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Sorry, it took us a minute to get things set up. We're trying to get going here. We got TikTok live over here as well. We're live on location in Navasota, Texas with Brian from the Lots Project. Kori's over there walking around, making sure our audio is good. So, hey, yeah, Brian here's been hanging out for a third of a fucking year down in Texas. I decided to move to Texas because Minnesota sucked. And
4 months. 4 months over the best time of the year, for sure.
Right?
For
yeah.
sure.
Great time to be down here. Great time to get away from the fucking northern winters. But yeah, so we're going to, if you don't know Brian from the Lots Project, follow his shit. He's got YouTube, TikTok. He could use some people over there too. Get him boosted up. He's got a new subscription going over there on YouTube. He's got a ton of content, putting shit out 5 days a week. A bunch of great interviews and shit. So I had him on my podcast, and I was on his podcast right within like a few days of each other.
Yes.
Back around episode 5 of this podcast. So,
right back when we became boyfriends.
Yeah, pretty much. This was before they left Minnesota. They weren't on the road yet. He was still working for his old job.
And, the good old days.
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the old days
so,
when I had the wonderful employment.
It's been a long while, but we figured since he's been down here hanging out and helping me in the shop and doing some shit, we do a recap, get him on before they roll out on the road and start traveling around again too. So, but we're going to play that spice video because I know y'all have been waiting for it. So the number 2 for the Season for Freedom series, we're covering pepper. That's what won the poll. So
wasn't there a pepper spice girl?
There might have been. I don't know.
Or was that ginger?
I'm not sure. Maybe there was both.
We got to do ginger next week.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe. I think it'll be garlic next week, probably. But
ginger would be a great video,
it
though.
would be, though. Yeah. All right, here we go. You know that pepper has been called the king of spices. That's because it's been used for thousands of years and has had a significant impact on world history. Pepper originated in the forests of Southeast Asia, specifically in the western Ghats region of India. It was first cultivated over 4,000 years ago. This type of pepper comes from the Piper nigrum plant, and it's the fruit of this plant that we commonly refer to as peppercorns. It's an entirely different plant than the pepper fruits like jalapeno or bell, like we see on the store shelves or grow in the garden. These peppercorns can be black, white, or green, depending on when they're harvested and how they're processed. Black pepper is the most common type of pepper, and it's made by drying the peppercorns until they turn black. White pepper, on the other hand, is made by soaking the peppercorns and removing their outer layer. This gives it a milder flavor than black pepper, but it's also why it's used less and costs significantly more. Pepper is one of the most versatile spices in the kitchen. It's used to add flavor and heat to a wide variety of dishes, from soups and stews to grilled meats and salads. It's often seen on restaurant tables, available for customers to add while dining. Fresh ground pepper added after a dish is plated not only brings more flavor, it's more palatable, since excess pepper added during cooking can scorch and become bitter in some dishes. But pepper isn't just delicious, it's also good for you. It contains a compound called piperine. It's been shown to improve digestion and help the body absorb nutrients more efficiently. It's also high in antioxidants, which can help protect against cancer and other diseases. Pepper has had a huge impact on world history. In the Middle Ages, it was so valuable that it was often used as currency, much like salt from the previous video. It was even one of the main reasons that Europe began exploring and colonizing other parts of the world, including India and Indonesia, where pepper was grown. Today, pepper is still an important crop in many parts of the world, and it's enjoyed by people all over the globe. So, next time you reach for the pepper grinder, remember you're not just adding flavor to your food, you're also connecting with a rich history and a global community that spans thousands of years. Happy cooking. Hey, and we're back. All right, there we go. Let me know what y'all think about it. But that was pepper. And a few people mentioned on TikTok that, yeah, there's more than those varieties of peppercorns, but, you know, there's only so much you can cover in a couple-minute video. So maybe I'll do a follow-up and talk about some of the other types. But if there's anything that you like from that or any other spices you want to see me cover, let me know. I'm probably doing something like garlic next, common stuff, and then we'll get into the really funky stuff down the line. But if you like that stuff, let me know. Follow my account and check it out over there. We'll do that there. I usually post it up on Telegram too. But anyway, so Brian, if people haven't been following you or know anything about you, they haven't followed my podcast, who the fuck are you and where'd you come from?
Oh, man.
I know, deep questions.
How long is the podcast?
hour or so, hour and a half.
The dirty quick story is I grew up in Western New York and made a couple bad choices, made a lot of bad choices, then I made a couple good ones and then some bad ones and some more bad ones. I ended up in Minnesota, made a lot more bad decisions, worked in all sorts of industries, did all sorts of things. I bartended for a decade. I dabbled in all sorts of maintenance and things like that. I met my beautiful wife, and we had a incident with some healthcare and realized that the healthcare industry was bullshit. Just long story short. And so we started pulling threads, and we realized that a lot of everything we knew was bullshit. And so we decided to buy a homestead. We took about a year, figured that out, found a property in northern Minnesota away from the cities, moved out of the suburbs, and made a 5-year plan to be self-sufficient and hopefully support ourselves with income and support ourselves as far as protein production and whatever we wanted to provide for ourselves. And so we busted ass and we did it. My wife worked full time. She worked in the cities. It's a 90-minute drive. She worked there 4 days a week for a while, then 3 days a week. And then finally she worked remote. I worked full time or more the whole time and commuted long distance. And we started building a farm, and we built a huge farm, and we raised tons of laying birds and meat chickens and rabbits and quail and had hydroponic gardens and huge gardens. And
you did turkey too, didn't you?
Yeah, we did pastured turkey. We did pastured meat birds. Like, we went high end on everything we did because we grew what we wanted to eat.
And you were doing all the non-soy, non-GMO stuff.
Yeah, not organic, no corn, no soy feed for the chickens. And it was a crazy experience, and we went balls out. And
you were doing microgreens too. And
we did microgreens at a farmer's market. We did hydroponics. We did composting. We had a comfrey business we ran. I had over probably 500 comfrey plants that I was selling root cuttings and compost and all sorts of stuff. We had all sorts of products on Etsy. We sold into the raw pet food market for meat production. And then about 5 years in, I was walking out to my turkey tractor in the 3rd week of October, and I still had 4, maybe 5 weeks left on my turkey before I could cull them for fresh turkeys for Thanksgiving. Because if you're charging $110, $125 for a turkey, you want to try to offer it to your customers fresh. And so
I've never spent that much on a frozen turkey. I know that. So
I mean, even frozen, at least it was flash frozen and given to you that week, and it wasn't a hard freeze.
But if you're paying that money, you want quality. Like,
you want to at least give them the option to have their turkey culled the week of Thanksgiving, and I want to provide that level of customer service. And we got over 18 inches of snow the 3rd week of October. And I was walking out to my turkey tractor, and it was getting about that time in the turkey tractor where you had to move it 2 times a day, or it got pretty nasty. We were doing the, what was his name? Joel Siskovich chicken tractor. Siskovich. John Siskovich.
Yeah.
John Siskovich chicken tractors. They're like the peaked ones, but they're meant for chickens, but we adapted them for turkeys. We put a roost in it and everything, but you put 10 turkeys in them, and the last 3 weeks you had them, the last 4 weeks you had them, you were moving it every 2 days, or it was just a shit pile.
Right.
So I walked out there in the morning after 18 inches of snow, and there's no moving a fucking turkey tractor in that. Sorry about my language on
you're fine.
Your Christian podcast.
You can fucking speak like that. That's fine. Yeah.
So I walked out there.
Podcast.
I'm in my muck boots and my Carhartt shit in the end of fucking October, and I'm like, this is fucking retarded. Like, seriously, I can't deal with this. I can't do I can't do everything I want to do to sustain myself for a whole year in 90 days.
Well, yeah, you guys have such a short growing season is ridiculous.
Yeah, we looked at Tennessee as a reference point when we were looking at places to move, and it was 100 more days a year of growing time than my location in Minnesota. 100 more days. That's 1/3 of a fucking year more to get done what you need to get done to sustain yourself for the rest of the year. And I thought that was a lot better option.
That's over 3 months extra.
Yeah.
You know?
So I walked in and said to Kori, I think this is fucking bullshit. I hate this fucking place. I never want to live here more than I have to. And if I ever see fucking snow again, I'm going to want to punch myself in the face. And we were there for another like 3 years, but now we're in Texas, and it's I've run the air conditioning twice in February. So fuck the cold weather, fuck the snow in October. I'm done with it. It's easier other places. So we gave up a lot of security to do this.
Yeah.
We gave up a lot to do it. We changed our lifestyle.
So you guys went full time on the road. You didn't really transition to what you guys did after.
Yeah, that's right.
But how'd you end up here?
Yeah.
So how'd that happen?
Yeah, so I said, fuck it.
They're not living in my backyard.
We were going to go, at that point, we decided we were going to go somewhere. We didn't know where. We decided we had been going down that path more of the everything sold to you programming. Why do we all live in a fucking 1,800 square foot house? What's the point? Like, it was just her and I and our 3 St. Bernards. We're like, why are we?
Your 3 St. Bernards, yeah.
Yeah, 3 St. Bernards. Just throw that in there.
Yeah, 3 human-sized dogs.
It's like, why are we in this 1,800 square foot farmhouse running propane to heat it in this retarded Minnesota winter? Why are we living in these structures? We were exploring these paths already, and then when we decided to leave, we're like, let's live somewhere else. Let's live in something else. Let's find some place to live in a yurt. Let's find some place to live in a teepee. Let's find some place to live in an earth house or something different.
Yep.
Like, why are we all conditioned to live in these boxes? We explored a lot of things with like angles and round, and we decided we landed on a yurt. We didn't want things square anymore. We felt boxed in our life, and it was like, I think, symbolic that we were going into something round. We decided,
you can't get cornered in a circle.
Yeah, we decided we wanted to go to Zone 7. We kind of searched around, and the best place to put a yurt in Zone 7 was Idaho in the mountains. So we said, okay, let's buy a property in Idaho in the mountains and buy some raw land and say fuck it and go off grid. We're going to put in solar. We're going to do everything for ourselves as much as possible. We understand that's not 100%. We can't do it 100%. We know that. We need to trade. We need to work. We need to buy things, whatever. But as much as possible. So we came up with the acronym LOTS, living outside the system, because that's pretty much as living outside the system as it gets. And we started planning. And we said, okay, so we're going to get out there. We're going to sell the homestead. We're going to get out there. We're going to do what? We're not going to have the yurt put up. We're not going to have it place cleared or anything.
Temporary something.
We need something temporary. So let's get an RV. Let's get an RV. We'll sit out there. We're like, okay, so we're not going to have electric or water or anything. We're buying raw land. What do we got to do? We got to put solar in the RV. We got to put water in the RV. We got to put composting toilet in the RV. We got to put a wood stove for if it gets cold in case we have to do a winter. Well, fuck, why don't we just try to not go to Idaho and go find someplace else to live? And holy shit, there's this whole community of people online that travel around in RVs and make it happen. So holy God, this is possible. We can do this. So we spent 2 years and we bought an RV, and we made it ability to have boondocking. We can go, like, we've parked in an old watermelon field for the last 4 months. So
and you don't have there's no water, there's no power out here. They have to go get their water.
Yeah.
Their power comes from their solar panels
or a generator.
And all of them, between the two of them, they're live on either working remote or doing social media shit. Like what?
All day, every day.
Pretty much all the time.
All day, every day.
That's where they're making their living now.
Yeah.
So
we're on the road now. We took a few trips in the camper before we sold the homestead. We took a trip out to Washington from Minnesota. We took 2 weeks, went out and back. went down to Tennessee and back. And then we said, we're not doing another Minnesota winter. We had the house on the market and it didn't sell before we had to take off. We had tickets to go to a festival in Tennessee. It was in October, the beginning of October. The house didn't sell. We took off and we said, fuck it, we're not going back. If it sells before frost, perfect. If it doesn't, we will we'll have a company winterize it, and we'll go back and deal with what we got to do after the fact. But we're not enduring another Minnesota winter. And then it sold while we were down here, and we sat put here for a couple months, 4 months.
Hey, Chris.
And decided to get things kind of organized, get things in line, figure out our social media stuff. Kori was training in a new position at her work remotely, so it was a good time to let her work really hard at work and not the social media stuff. And now coming up here the beginning of March, we're going to take back off. So we've kind of retooled. I was working with you over the time we were here. We're going on the road and
helping me out at the shop. So
now that we're taking off, we're gonna kind of get a new schedule and new routine. We got a bunch of stuff rolling, and so that's me. Cool. That's me in the short and dirty half hour. What is it? 15 minutes. The quick and dirty 15-minute story. There you go.
Chris Dixon popped in.
What's up, Chris Dixon?
A couple of wild turkeys, and I saw a comment over here on TikTok. Ironically, was asking about turkey tail mushrooms, if we know anything about them. I don't personally. I know what they are. I know they're good. I know their health benefits.
I've seen them.
I know there's a lot of lookalikes. I'm not a mushroom guy, but
there's only one kind of mushrooms I like.
Yep,
they ain't shiitakes.
They ain't shiitakes, and you're not going to find them growing on a tree.
Cow patty.
Right.
So yeah, that right. Now go ahead. Anything you want to know, man.
So
anything you want to know.
You came on down here to Texas. You've been hanging out and everything. This little bit of time helping me out occasionally and whatnot. What do you think about Texas? What do you think about the overall experience?
This area of Texas. So we're like halfway between Dallas and Houston, right?
Yeah,
we're
more towards the east side. Yeah, about halfway between Dallas and Houston, southeast side. So we're not quite out in the Beaumont swamps yet. We're not Louisiana, but it's close to it. It's all pine forest, and it's wet and sand. And
so the Sam Houston National Forest. No,
there's no tumbleweeds going by.
the Sam Houston National Forest is incredible. I drove through a portion of that every time I went over and worked with Josh, and that was very pleasurable. We found a couple cool graves out there. That's another of the weird shit I'm into. I'm into hanging out in graveyards, and I'm also a barefoot kind of freaky guy.
He's into some weird shit.
So I hang out barefoot in cemeteries. So add those two up.
Well, so with the cemetery thing though, what's that about? Are you just like, you're not like a necrophiliac? You just what's your deal with?
No, I don't dig them up or nothing. So it was weird. I was kind of looking for something to do. And my wife was doing some barefoot stuff. She had gone barefoot for quite a while. She started a TikTok
for the health benefits, not for the porn.
Yeah, for health benefits. People thought it was porn, but my wife is not a foot porn star. Unless you want to send her money, you can do it at the Lots the Lots Project on Cash App.
Email TikTok and let them know to reactivate Grounded Souls. It's not porn just because there's naked feet.
Yeah. So anyway,
feet aren't genitals. TikTok.
She got into the benefits of grounding and barefoot living and started a TikTok account. So she was getting content. And we were at a campsite in Tennessee, and there was a really cool cemetery across the street. Well, not really cool in general, but I've been to a lot cooler now. But a nice place to go walk and do content. It was quiet. It was quiet. She was asking if we needed beers. Sorry. So it was quiet. It was a good place to do content. Barefoot. It was gravel. And I was like, yeah, I'll come over there with you. So when I was growing up, there was a cemetery behind my house. So I had a backyard, and then there was a field behind my house, but my neighbor had a backyard, and then behind him was a cemetery. And then the cemetery went down the block away from my house. So there was a lot of open space there. We used to play ball back there. Like the neighborhood kids hung out there. We played laser tag at night and all this shit. But I always used to like hang out before or after the groups and was kind of intrigued by the headstones. Even as a kid, like there was this vibe there that I was okay with. Like it felt cool. Like I would read the headstones. I didn't know who they were. I was a kid. I was like 10, 12 years old, but I'd read the dates and I'd think about like, oh, I'd do the math in my head because I'm a little bit of, I have a little math thing. So I would do the dates and all that shit. But I spent a lot of time over there, and I was kind of a lonely kid. Well, not that lonely, but I spent a lot of time alone, and because I was a little weird.
Was.
Aren't
we all?
Was. But
honestly,
anyway,
if you're watching this shit, if you're still watching this shit, you're weird too. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Just gonna break the news to you.
So I packed that away. As a kid, and when we went over to the cemetery to do her content, I walked over with her, and I was walking around barefoot in the cemetery, and it kind of flashed me back to when I was a kid. And it was just random that I went with her. It was her intent to go there, and I just came along, and it turned into something for me. And now I started a TikTok channel. I was like, okay, cool. I can come here. I enjoy this. I remember the feeling of being in these places, looking at these things. I want to go around and find these cemeteries and find the older headstones in them, like my thing is I really like
the historical part.
Late 1800s are the earliest I've found, but that time period before the 50s, the old cool headstones, really degraded ones. So I started filming them, and as we would travel, every stop we would make, I would go find a new cemetery. Now we've been in Texas for 4 months, so I've been to countless cemeteries around here. Like I've run out.
And surprisingly, there's a lot of cemeteries.
There are a ton.
I would like small family cemeteries. There's like a lot of old
families.
Like
and old, like very old, and like they're all very peaceful. They're out in like old pastures, and it's super cool.
Rundown.
Rundown. And so another thing that I came across is I started posting this on TikTok. Like I didn't even know it was a thing when I started it. I was like, okay, well, is this cool? I'll post this picture of this, and then it got like 1,000 views, and I'm like, okay, well, I enjoyed that, so let me do it again. It's almost like getting a hand job. It's like I had an orgasm, so I'm gonna go do more of this, and if I have to do it myself, it's cool.
Yeah. They call that the real liberty.
Anyway,
sorry.
So I started posting these, and I started looking into it further. I started contacting people, and found out that people clean headstones. They both do it for professional purposes. They also do it for hobbies. They do it for charitable causes. They do it for making content for videos, which I started to do. I ordered a kit. I looked into it. I've cleaned a couple as of now. I plan to, as we go on the road, the plan is to do a live from a cemetery, do a cleaning, do a bunch of content 1 day a week, spend at a cemetery at every location we go to on the road. So that's kind of the plan with that. So that's something I got into that I wasn't surprised.
Grave Marker 1, I think.
Grave Marker 1 on TikTok, or I also posted on all the Lots Project
stuff on YouTube
and stuff. You can go to the lotsproject.com, and there's a Get Social or something on there. I'm working. I apologize if you're listening to this and you go to that site. I'm a do-it-yourself guy. I teach myself, and I'm really bad at website stuff. But it kind of works. It works enough. So if you want to buy something, I'm pretty sure the cart works. If you want to test it out, I'd appreciate it.
Remind me, I need to put that. If I don't have the Grave Marker thing on there, I need to put it on your itty bitty tips thing. I need to sit down and do that one of these days when I get a chance, some computer time. But yeah, so Amy, you came down here. You've been hanging out. You've been working with me a little bit off and on and everything. During that time, I know it's been a couple days every now and again. Mostly it's been.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was 3. You're kind of downplaying what I was 3 days a week.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
right.
I got
You're right.
sick,
You're right.
and it took a while for me to get started.
You guys
and
got pretty sick, but yeah, no. It's been
I
a
was
decent
3
day.
days a week there for
I'm
a
not
pretty
trying to
full
say he
on.
hasn't done anything, but I mean, it's been off and on. So while you've been
I gave
there,
you a schedule. I had
when
other shit to do. I will stab you in the leg with a sword, motherfucker, and I know it's been done.
I don't have the sword with me, so unless you've got one,
I got a sword
anyway.
somewhere.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so you're I didn't just have you backpacking shit the entire time. So while you've been hanging out and we've been bullshitting and everything most of the time, let's be honest. It's been hanging out and talking crap.
Dude, I charge $50 an hour for that shit.
Well, yeah, so do I. So we're even. Anyway. No, we hang out. It's great because we're both entrepreneurs. So we are always bouncing ideas off each other, whether it's web development shit, stuff for other people, collaborative crap to do. So it's cool. It's like the whole time we're there, we ought to like record this shit and charge people to listen in. It's crazy.
Wait, I'm coming up with a membership on my website soon for just that type of thing. Weird.
We're gonna work on that. But so we've been hanging out doing that. He's been helping me out packaging and stuff like that. But there's been some cool shit that's gone on too.
I can run a motherfucking vacuum sealer.
Oh yeah, that guy, he can vacuum seal. Like, this guy can suck.
I get that shit all set up.
Oh yeah.
As analytical as I am,
he knows how to bag it.
Even the most mundane tasks as vacuum sealing fucking pork chops, I can make efficient because I have nothing else to do.
And then he'll even put it in the tub and even put it in the freezer.
And if you have to sit in a
sometimes
room
it's the right labels
with the Liberty Meat Renegade Butcher and vacuum pack meat, you definitely need to focus on something other than the Renegade Butcher.
Oh, for sure. Even I do.
No, dude. It was awesome. I enjoyed the time there.
It's been cool as fuck having him down here hanging out. It's very rare I actually get to talk to people that are cool as like this in person, because that's the thing. We bullshit all the time online. So being able to have him come hang out and work with me and everything, it's super cool. And I'm gonna miss having you guys around.
The brainstorming that happened in that room.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy shit.
The ideas that hatched, the things that we've acted upon, like working on your seasoning.
Oh yeah.
Your seasoning stuff that you're gonna roll out soon, because I finally kicked you in the balls enough while you had your hands full that you're gonna do it. You helped me out with a bunch of shit I was trying to figure out and get going. We bounced ideas. We laughed.
All day,
we
every day.
Laughed.
We're bouncing shit off each other's fucking brains most of the time on Telegram.
And then usually,
but then in person, it's like, oh, we don't have to type now.
Usually, boss would give me a beer at the end of the day and pat me on the back and say, hey, it was a good day. If you want me to pat you on the ass, just let me know, but I'm not going to violate sexual harassment policies.
Right. You just let me know if it's left cheek or right cheek. And
what was sore that day.
Well, but while we were down
here, the coolest thing. Let's see. I learned a lot.
Really?
The coolest. Well, no. So observing from the outside, this was my takes. Like, I knew you were coming over tonight, and I was trying to think of like the whole time as a big picture.
Mm-hmm.
And you hate doing deer.
I don't hate it.
Well, no. Hear me out.
I don't
hear me out. You hate doing deer because you know it's the cash cow that makes you able to do all the other stuff you want to do.
True.
You're good at it. You understand the market. You're very good at it. You make a great product. You have a great customer base, and you can turn away customers. You can do your thing, and it's fantastic. It's a well-run business. I think you and I both have kind of brainstormed ideas to make it better. But that's where it is. Like, it's in its development stage still. You're new. And that's my observation from the outside, working with you for 4 months. You really excel at processing cuts of meat.
And it's hard to do much technical when it comes to deer.
The deer,
when it comes to larger animals, there's a lot more artistic.
Here is what's going on with deer in Texas. It is a guy brings a deer in a cooler, says, I want fucking sausage and I want back straps, and I want you to murder my back straps through a fucking tenderizer twice after you butterfly them.
Yep.
Or no, wait. I don't want you to do that. I want you to ground it up and put it in my fucking sausage.
There
and I'm
are
like,
people.
I'm like crying.
Oh, trust me.
I mean, there are good people. There are great customers that came in and had great orders.
Yep.
But the majority of them are people that just don't understand what good meat is.
Well, but the reality of it too, the flip side of it is the guys who come in and they want all their shit, backstrap included, in the sausage, they're the ones I make the money on.
Correct.
If a guy comes in
and that's
they went their whole deer process into cuts, I make the least amount of money.
So here's my point.
But I enjoy it.
I understand. You have the process down to make the deer business fun.
I wish I could make the beer business fun everything.
The deer business fund everything else. Where I see you excel, where I see you really enjoy what you're doing, is processing cuts of meat and making seasoning and explaining to me processing meat and making seasoning.
That and the cooking, I think, yeah. But
the cooking was pretty fucking good too. I'm not gonna say the cooking wasn't bad for lunch every day.
Now the cooking part, the hard part is there's so much bullshit when it comes to doing that professionally. I don't really want to get into it, but I do enjoy that aspect of it, which is why I like the seasoning part. Oh, where we got here? Yeah.
Oh, promotion.
Awesome. Hey, look at that.
Hey, look at you.
Woo.
Hey,
I got
promotion.
spammers finally. Look at that shit. Awesome. Anyways, but yeah, no, it was awesome having him down here and everything. I feel like I just got a job interview. Like I'm at work and I got my like 6 month.
No, dude,
review.
that's
that's true. I appreciate that.
That's
that is
just
awesome.
What I see.
But it's good observation.
From the inside.
It's true from the inside.
You're really good at what you do.
But it's hard to. There's only so good you can be at deer. There's only so much you can fucking do.
But
there's only so technical you can get.
You've reached a point where your recipes, your products, your salesmanship is spot on. And as you get into that set market, that set people, and where 90% of your business every year is the same thing, like Jose Sanchez is going to come in with 3 fucking deer and he's going to want he's gonna want jalapeno cheddar brats. He's gonna want Polish sausage.
I'll have your deer done soon, Jose.
Jose, you're a cool dude. I met this dude one day here in Texas. So hear me out for a second. So there was a day in Texas here. So we went through a cold snap while we were here that it got down below freezing. It was for 3 days. It didn't get above freezing.
3 or 4, yeah.
So we drained the water in our trailer. We were prepared for it. We were from Minnesota. Everybody was freaking out. They were like, "It's going to be below freezing for 3 days." I was like, "Oh, it's not going to be below freezing for 9 months." Cool.
I was like, "No, you got to realize everybody else's shit's going to be fucked up around here. So if you need shit."
So we prepped up. We made it. It was fine. It was no big deal. But I was at Josh's. It was right around Christmas.
Yeah, it was
and it was cold as fuck. It was the day that the temperature was going down.
Christmas was the first day it warmed up.
Yeah, but this was right before as the temperature was going down, and we're both out there, and like I became a Texas pussy fucking fast. Like my penis, when I moved to Texas, went inside me, and my weather vagina blossomed. Very quickly.
I'm dying over here.
So it was like 50 degrees, and I was like hood up going, "Oh shit, it is fucking cold."
Yeah.
And
I believe I was actually just wearing this shirt with like an underlayer, and he's wearing a Carhartt shirt. I have my hands in ice unloading gear.
And just for reference, last winter I worked outside for the majority of the winter in negative 0 Fahrenheit. Anywhere from -30 to -5 for months on end in a hoodie. And I was down here freezing my balls off. So it was like 40 degrees and dropping. The wind was blowing, and I'm like outside. And
when
I'm
it's
in a
nice,
jacket.
you acclimate really fucking quick.
And so Jose Sanchez rolls up in this, and Jose, I believe if I said this to his face, he would completely agree with me. He is probably one of the most Mexican dudes I've met in a long time.
Well, if you don't know by his name, Yeah, I told him that too. I said, but it's like, man,
dude shows up in fucking shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, and I said, dude, I'm sorry, but you are the most Mexican person I've ever fucking seen. And you're here. We're freezing our ass off, and we're white as shit. I obviously come from the Northern Territory.
I'm from Minnesota, dude, and you're in a t-shirt and shorts, and your name's Jose Sanchez.
Man, I love this shit. This is awesome. And I'm like,
it was fantastic. What a cool dude. I met a bunch of awesome people down here. Josh
Yeah.
has built a great client base that
I get some really cool customers. I
Yeah.
have the best customers, I swear.
really good conversationalists for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the bullshit didn't run deep on
yeah.
most of the days there. Philip was a hoot, and yeah, Justin,
Justin's
all
he's
the
fun to
guys,
chat
all the
with.
guys around. I
Yep.
really like to bust balls on them, and
Mhm.
they took me in like one of Josh's employees and one of his
Yep.
whipping boys, and I gave them shit right back, and I think they appreciated it.
Yep. Everybody's pretty cool down here. You'll find, especially in this area, at least in my experience in Texas, I haven't been all over Texas, but I've been over most of the east side. The culture down here, people are just friendly. People like
It's
the
been
bullshit.
very nice.
People like to just talk and sit
Yeah.
there, and they take their time.
Yeah. What's that?
Even at the grocery store.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah. Nobody's in a hurry, really, unless you're on the interstate.
I've really
Yes,
enjoyed my time down here for sure. It's been a great.
Yep.
I think it's a place that we have considered. We've talked about buying
Yeah.
a parcel down here. Maybe
If you can ever find a good affordable spot, that's the thing. Land's going up like crazy down here. When I first moved down here, it was like one of the cheapest places to buy land.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's the market. I mean, everybody else kind of had the same idea.
We're looking for a way different property than is usually listed.
Oh, yeah,
though. We're
for sure.
looking for like 5 acres on the back of somebody's property that doesn't
Super
have
rural.
power or.
I was like, why is the ring light smoking? Anyway, sorry, it's
Oh,
the
is it?
thermocell. It's a thermocell. Okay, yes. So if you guys are in a northern climate, we're actually literally using an electronic device right now to keep mosquitoes away. If that tells you anything. What's the temp right now? I can't see right now on my phone.
I think it's like
It's like
80.
83.
It was
84.
81 when I posted that
Kori will
message
look.
today.
Yeah, it's been warm.
77.
77 now,
Okay,
boys.
it's cooling off. But yeah,
I smell like shit. I sweat my ass off today. I'm not gonna lie.
it's warm down here
It's
right
humid.
now. Yeah.
It's heavy hot.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's going to be hot and dry down here. Like you think the desert, you hear Texas and it's like cactuses and shit. No,
It's swamp ass hot.
we're on the east side.
Is that what they say in Louisiana? It's
Yeah.
swamp ass hot.
Yeah,
or something
we're
like
like-
that?
If you think of like Mississippi, Louisiana, Mississippi.
Did you forget a few letters there?
Well, if you ever
Mississippi.
talk to anybody from Mississippi,
You just take out the three in the middle there.
I'd like you to find me somebody from Mississippi that uses all of the letters.
Is
They
it
probably
like
don't even know all the letters.
what is it? MISSISSIPPI. So
They're
they just take out
all-
the 3 middle ISS and they just go Mississippi.
The word Mississippi is all the same letters, but people from Mississippi still forgot half of them. Sorry, anybody from Mississippi who might be watching. But
They're almost as backward as those motherfuckers
I'm
from
telling you.
Arkansas and Alabama.
oh, it's great.
Oh wait, Alabama. We're going to Arkansas
Now,
next.
what's really
I love
fun-
people from Arkansas. You guys are the best. We'll
What's-
see you soon
did you
in a few
know-
weeks.
Did you know that Arkansas is the only state in the United States that actually has an active diamond mine?
Yes, I do, and we're gonna go there.
Oh, you are?
Yes,
Sweet.
yeah.
I know a guy that actually does. He was at Float Fest 2 years in a row. He actually does sell crystals and gems. That's his thing. Like, I can hook you up with him. He's in Arkansas.
That's our
In-
second
he's in
stop when we
community.
leave here. Actually,
I'll have to remind me. I'll have to hook you up with him. He's super cool. He's on Facebook.
where can I find you after this?
I think you can. You know where to get a hold of me.
Uh
You
oh.
got my number. Uh oh, the feds are here. They're coming for us. Evasive maneuvers. No, it's a Chinese weather balloon. Oh shit. I don't know. I'm trying to see what kind of helicopter that is. Doesn't look. I say it's a Blackhawk. It doesn't look like a fucking medevac, but who knows?
That was
Anyway,
a Fed for sure.
Totally,
It was
gotta
actually it was way too loud for a Fed.
as I said, I'd say it's a game warden, but I fucking know him. He'd probably come over and want a beer. Anyway,
They did do searchlich down, so
yeah, ooh,
they wondered they saw the ring light. They thought they were UFOs.
probably, yeah. Shit. But hey,
What's
let's
up,
see what
man?
we got going on. 38 minutes. Wow, we've talked a lot in 38 minutes. That's impressive. Lots to talk about.
That's
right?
what I do. That's what I
Well,
do.
but so hey, I heard this guy has a podcast too. Like he does some shit occasionally.
Once in a while,
Yeah,
I get
so-
on the internet and talk.
So what is it? Something like fucking 7-8 fucking episodes a week now?
Yeah, 7 right now, and
No, not weekends. He does some days, does twice a day.
Yeah, I do every Monday through Friday morning at 6 a.m. I do a show from like 6 to 6:40, 45-ish.
Depends on how long I tie him up in comments and distract him from
Yeah,
his
so
topics.
my beautiful wife starts work at 7, so around 20 till she gets her laptop out, sets it on the table next to me, and I know that it's time to wrap it up.
But it's cool because we hang out, we drink coffee.
Yep.
Like everybody in the comments gets in, we all just bullshit. Most of us have just woke up, got the coffee brewed.
I ask deep questions.
Right.
I have a little segment I pull out that has its own feed called the Perfect Cup, where I've just recently started asking the question on all my socials the day before and taking all the input from my communities.
You got look at the hold on, sorry, TikTok.
Oh yeah, I do.
Hey, sorry. Oh my god! TikTok that I've been ignoring, and no, I don't eat corn the long way. I eat it widthwise all the way in. Yeah.
Just because I can take it to the cob and peel those fucking kernels off doesn't mean I'm not a manly man.
Right.
Anyway, I do.
I'm keto with this beer in my hand.
Yeah. Anyway, Monday through Friday, do a question in the morning, first segment, as things get rolling, and kind of do deep thoughts, contemplative questions. Started asking the audience the day before and rolling that in, and then I just talk about our life, really, things that happened the day before, things we got coming up. And any conversations that roll out of the audience or that pop into my messed up head during the chat. And that's the morning show. And then 2 interviews in the evenings, Monday and Thursday night. Monday night's a live interview with all sorts of different guests that
they've all been cool interviews.
I look for people that are interesting to me and I ask them their story and we talk about their story. Monday nights are live on YouTube. Thursday nights are pre-recorded, but I try to hang out in the comments and convey. I really try to get to know my guests before, after, and during the interview. So I try to not necessarily answer for them, but try to speak for them as the interview would have been going on. But I just have a lot of guests that want to record and not do live. So it just works out that I do 2 interviews a week that way.
Nice. Well, I mean, it makes it easier for you to schedule and work shit around because if you've got to arrow on and not be there, then so be it. It's there.
Yep.
But yeah, that's fucking awesome. It's a lot of shit though. If people think it's easy.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of work. But
there's a reason I didn't have a lot of fucking episodes on my podcast for a while because when I'm busy, it takes a lot more time than you realize to set this shit up, do the production crap on it, make it actually decent. Not half-ass it.
That's why I'm good at doing efficient vacuum sealing is because I figured out how to do a podcast efficiently.
Right. Totally. Yeah. Podcasting, vac sealing, same deal. Absolutely. 100%.
It's all about efficiency.
Yeah. Oh, damn. No.
Any more corn over here?
No corn over there. But I have one of my friends up there says their friend from Alaska says Texas winters are the coldest he's ever been in. Yeah, well, I believe it. I originally grew up in Iowa, Illinois, right on the border, bounced back and forth, and then moved down here. And I can tell you right now, I can still handle these winters. Like, I don't consider them real winters, but I get cold. And it didn't take long. It was like that first year, these pussies down here wearing coats and shit, and I get a little chill. My pride wouldn't let me wear a real coat. Year 2, no, fuck that. It's winter now.
It didn't take me that long, I'll tell you that. No. I was like bundled
20
up.
degrees in Texas is cold as fuck. There's ice on the ground. You're like, holy shit, what the hell's going on? Because usually we don't get it that cold. But the last couple of years have been a little bit colder. Maybe it's that global warming kicking in. I don't know.
If this is colder, that was really nice.
No, 2 years ago was way fucking worse, but not for about the same amount of time, really. It was about 4, maybe 5 days. We actually had snow, but I was also stuck about 100 miles north and to deal with that shit. But we had snow, and it didn't get above 20 for like 3 days. And that if you live anywhere north of here, that sounds absolutely ridiculous. But we aren't built for it down here.
I'm definitely not built for it anymore.
I saw 2 years ago when I was dealing with that shit, and I finally, while I was camping in my work van doing work, Man, I was on my way home. I had my 7-hour drive for a 2.5-hour drive that took me to get back. I saw the first snow plows that had the state of Texas emblem on them I've ever seen in my life. I didn't know we owned them.
Why would they?
I don't know. Apparently, they must have rolled them out of fucking San Antonio or some shit.
It's probably to
They might have
push
slapped
the dead bodies out of the roads when they kill everybody.
They might have put like a. Oh damn! You know something I don't.
Well, were they the big snowplows like they have in Minnesota?
Yeah, they were the northern.
I'm not going to say who told me this, but I have a confidential informant that used to work for Department of Homeland Security and some various other high-level law enforcement agencies, and he knew the high-end evac plan from Minneapolis.
Ooh.
And let's just say if the highways were plugged with cars coming out of the cities like it is in rush hour where you can't go anywhere, they may or may not have plans to put the people that are fucking important in snowplows and just push the fucking cars out of the way.
I mean, it's a smart plan.
Just saying.
That might be why the plows exist. I don't know. That's the first time I've ever heard of that.
Well, I'm pretty sure the plows exist to move snow, but they repurpose
that might be why the plows exist in Texas.
Oh,
yeah, here. Why they have the Texas DOT emblem on the side was my question. Yeah.
That's why they have rattlesnake venom in Minnesota.
It didn't look like a magnet either. You know? Hey, the only here's a crazy thing. The only rattlesnake that I've encountered in the wild in my life was in Minnesota as a child. I have lived in Texas for 8 years, and I have yet to see a rattlesnake. I've had somebody a mile down the road from me had a 6-foot. Right, cool. I had a 6-foot rattlesnake that they shot in their driveway a mile from me. I have never run into one. I have run into countless copperheads. I have run into multiple water moccasins.
Don't say that in front of my wife.
I have run into 2 coral snakes.
All right, so we were supposed to be leaving in 2 weeks. We were supposed to be leaving in 2 weeks. We're leaving tomorrow.
But here's the thing. None of them have been aggressive. They've always fucking everyone that I've run into either was on the way away from me or my birds, because I have a fuckload of birds, chickens, ducks, geese, whatever, turkeys, and they were surrounding it, pecking the shit out of it. Hey, Kyle.
Whereabouts?
Kyle made it.
Did you see your rattlesnake?
I'm trying to remember.
Off-air question.
No, I want to say, yeah, from the peanut gallery. No, I want to say, I'm trying to remember where they were. There were some
Redwood Falls.
Like
cousins. No, I'm trying to remember. It was near Minneapolis somewhere. It was rural near Minneapolis. But so and there was snow surprise me. What's crazy is there was snow on the ground, and we were out hanging out with like these cousins.
Hot rocks.
And they had one of those, the round snow sleds that look like a trash can lid, just the circular disc ones. Yeah.
Fucking hot.
They had one laying on top of, they had a storm drain or whatnot. So I go over and I'm like, oh, look, a sled. Because there's 2 inches of snow on the ground. And I'm like, I want to say I was probably 8 or 10 at the time. Flip the thing over and there's a fucking snake underneath of it. And I hear the rattle. And I just like, what the hell? I go inside. And I was like, oh my God, there's a rattlesnake. And they're like, there's rattlesnakes in Minnesota? What the hell?
Josh sounded like a little girl. Oh my God, there's a rattlesnake.
I was 8 to 10 years old. So yes, I'm sure I did sound like a little girl.
Let me stab myself in the leg with a sword.
No, so then we heard a shot outside and everything was done. But the crazy thing is,
Josh heard it from inside because he was inside scraping the poo out of his pants.
No, there was no poo in my pants. I wasn't wearing any pants. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's right. You were one of them.
Anyway, no, but it's weird that.
Hey, you had somebody that said hi over there.
Hey there. Oh, hey man, how's it going? That's the other Josh. That's the one that I know you saw that video I ran into a couple weeks back. There was a event down in Conroe. He's selling spices.
Oh, hey, Josh from Conroe selling spices.
Other Josh from Texas. So, yeah, let's check him out, Grillin' Geek. If you guys are on TikTok at all, go have a look. He's cool as shit.
Yeah, Josh shit his pants 2 days ago, but that was a different time.
Oh, yeah, 2 days ago I shit my pants. But no, it didn't have anything to do with a snake. At least not a rattlesnake.
It was my snake.
Nobody rattled it. There's no rattle.
I finally unfurled it, and he shit his pants. He's like, oh, my God.
Where is it?
I can't believe you've been holding out on me all this time.
Yeah, that's totally exactly what happened. 100%. Yeah, you heard it first here, folks.
Hey, hit him up with some diamonds, some likes, or whatever the fucking thing you do over on TikTok. Things light up on the screen.
I thought you're supposed to be my sugar daddy. You're asking other people to give me diamonds? What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. I have no diamonds.
I have no diamonds.
That's why I'm headed to Arkansas to go to the diamond
Oh,
mine.
you're going to diamond. I'm going to strike it, bro. I'm staking a claim.
Is it my only chance? This is my last chance in
Dude,
life. You
walk
will
in
find me. You will find me.
Walk in there with an old hubcap. Be like, I'm here to pan for diamonds.
You know,
Do it. Right? You should totally do it.
I don't have any hubcaps.
No,
dude.
I know, but you need to find one. Like, I'll find you an old one before you leave. Wear like an old wife beater with holes in it and like a pair of like just the raggediest shorts you can, and just walk up completely barefoot and be like,
so like Tuesday.
Right.
So like
So
Tuesday.
come running in.
Have you looked over at my wife, dude?
Right? So wear her clothes, come running in, and do this though. While you do it, make sure you walk like this and to be like, I'm here to pan for diamonds, and just see what they say. You know, act like I'm here to mine for gold.
I will be there likely in the middle of fucking spring break, and it's it's supposed to be like the most insane time of the year at this park. And I am curious how that's going to go for me because I'm not a big fan of the general public.
But it's going to be spring break, so who knows? It may just be a bunch of humping.
No, it's family spring break.
Oh, that kind of spring break.
It's like a family spring break. If it was a bunch, dude, if it was a bunch of fucking co-eds drinking and twerking on the diamond mine, I would be there for like. We would be like, okay, I'm booking this site for the next fucking 6 weeks, and we are lifeguarding. I will lifeguard.
I was like, why would they have spring break at a diamond mine?
I am lifeguarding the diamond mine with all the bikini co-eds drinking and playing drinking games at the diamond mine. So they don't drown in the wash station.
You know, the ones that go to Cozumel are looking for diamonds too.
Well, I mean, they might get mixed up. I've seen Road Trip. You've seen Road Trip. Barry ends up sending her to Boston instead of Austin.
Pretty much.
They sent her for diamonds in Arkansas instead of diamonds in Vegas. It's close enough.
So follow the lotsproject.com to follow their journey and see what goes on. And if you want to keep up to date live, subscribe.
Yeah, you join the membership. I'll show you all the titty shots along the road.
Yeah, I'm sure. It'll be mostly his.
We went. Yeah, I mean, if you need a nipple flash every now and then to join my membership, just let me know. We'll do it privately. I'm okay with it. I'm borderline considering doing porn just because I've seen how much money you can make. So
Kyle says if you make your way this far north, he'll have a spot for you to park the camper.
Why the fuck would I want to go that far?
New Hampshire. Hampshire is the
this dude
state,
literally comes into your chat every day and says, "Holy fuck, dude, it's so fucking cold. I want to shoot myself. Why would anybody fucking live here?"
Only
dude,
go there
if you get up this far north, yeah, I've been there, dude.
When it's 111 degrees here, you want to be in New Hampshire.
Yeah. Not this cycle. Maybe next year. This year we're only going to Tennessee, and then we have to head up to South Dakota to get residency figured out. So not going to make sense to go back up to the Northeast again in the cool season. So we might head out west and do a tour down through and then back down.
You'll probably make your way up that way at some point.
It might be a round 2 around. So like next year, I think we're planning on going South Dakota and then back down through and up through Oklahoma, and who knows? Yeah, maybe next spring, the Northeast fucking tour kicks off. Like, the Northeast Lots Project Freedom Tour coming to a town near you.
But hey,
rolling through towns, burning and churning. Hide your wife, hide your kids. They're raping up everybody in here.
Well, I mean, so they say money talks. If somebody's got some shit,
dude. If somebody has some projects they want to work on, you got a piece of property.
Hey, Erin,
you want to put a hip camp in?
Erin is listening while she's rinsing rabbit feet. She says she's ready. Nice. There you go.
Oh, so check this, dude. I'm gonna do a short about this stuff in the next day, probably tomorrow.
And I appreciate it over there. Got Josh on Grilling Geek. He's hitting them likes.
Oh, if I got time tomorrow, maybe Thursday, I got a short I got to do. So Kori and I pulled out everything from the camper. So we recently couple of days ago, we got pulled out. We were kind of sunk in where we're at for 4 months. When we parked there, it just kind of, that's where it sat, and it was good. It was level. It was good. So we just let her sit for 4 months, and landowner pulled us out with a tractor, put us on some hard pan. And before we did that, we kind of pulled everything out of the camper, outside storage, the truck bed, evaluated what we wanted to take with us because everything had changed.
Yeah.
After
the camper was stuck, not the truck, most of the time. Because
yeah,
that
the
would have
truck was stuck for a while.
If you had 4 months with the truck stuck, that would have sucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like 4 days. So,
yeah, but anyway, when we were going through the shit, I pulled this cooler out, and I was like, okay, I know what's in here.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, we had some extra like infused oils, some stuff that we had from the homestead that we wanted to bring with us for making emergency medical stuff or whatever. Some high proof alcohol, things of that nature.
Nice.
And so I was feeling around in it, and the front of it had like some bulk to it, and I was like, what the fuck did I put in here? Because I packed all that shit when we took off. And so I opened it up, and I reach in, and there was a brown paper bag, and I was like, what the hell is this? I pull it out, and
Do I need to pause?
Yeah, go ahead.
Before you tell what's in the brown paper bag, is it okay for the air?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, just check it anyway.
Yeah, so I look in the bag, and I said, hey, Kori, look in here. And she looks in there, she's like, oh shit. So this cooler, way back when we started the homestead, Kori was working down in the cities at the hospital 3 or 4 days a week.
Oh my God, it was organs in the bag.
It was 90-mile drive one way. So to supplement the gas money and supplement the farm, she used to sell eggs. And so she'd take this cooler with eggs in them, and she'd take it all the way to work. And back and forth. And she would just load the thing full of eggs. She would sell it to people that worked at the hospital. It was great. It was cash. It was fucking fantastic. And we sold them to people 90 miles away at a price of city prices when we were growing them in the country.
Wouldn't you love me doing that right now?
That'd be great.
God, anyway.
But anyway, so she did that for years and years and years. And so while years and years and years, like 3 years, 2 years.
Well,
2.5
technically that's
years.
year and a year and a year, but yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, along the way, we started making, we started raising rabbits. We were making rabbit foot keychains, and we would make keychains out of the feet, obviously, because they were rabbit foot keychains, and not rabbit dick keychains.
St. Patrick's Day is coming up.
As somebody commented on my there is a video on my YouTube page of how to make one of these things, and somebody actually commented and asked if people make rabbit dick keychains.
Oh, well, there you go.
But anyway, so we used to make these things, and one of her egg customers said, hey, you should bring some of these keychains down and sell them here. And so Kori had a brown paper bag full of rabbit foot keychains that she stacked away in her cooler.
I forgot about.
Well, we sold all our rabbit foot keychains out. We sold them on Etsy. We sold them here and there, and we did an inventory. And when we stopped raising rabbits, we did an inventory. We sold them out one at a time. We got rid of them. We parceled them all off. We deactivated the listing. We taught other people how to make them. We made them available for the community through other sources. Referred customers out. And yeah, here 3 years or 4 years after the fucking fact, I find a whole bag full of like 17 goddamn rabbit foot keychains.
But still in good shape though, right?
Oh, they're perfect.
Like, yeah.
Anybody want one, reach out. The Lots Project on all the socials or the lotsproject.com.
You should like auction them off on your Telegram or on your show or something. You should do like a drawing for them.
They are Kori.
I mean, you saw
one of a kind Kori classics.
You saw how the bonfire blend auction went on my Telegram.
$75 starting bid.
I bet you could sell some rabbit foot 10. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, do that. Try it out. Yeah. It's a good idea. But if you guys don't want to buy some, not only do they have some, Aaron over here in the comments and with Two Chicks Homestead, they're doing it too. They raise rabbits and they've been really getting into that. They do some like deer feet and shit too. I'm sure they probably sell them for the right price.
Deer feet are cool.
Let's see here. She says she has 2 tails. She's gonna try. Aaron says hi, Kori, back there. And let's see here. Yeah, she said she did her first duet today. She did it, I think, on yours.
Tails are tough.
Yeah, that was all I saw that, Aaron.
Tails are tough. There isn't enough bone to make the curing process work.
It's almost like you should skin it and tan the tail and put it on something else.
The tail is more of a
more skin than anything
part
else.
on the the pelt than
Yeah.
the
Mostly
We
skin.
tried them.
Yeah.
It's tough. I think you can do it, but you need to really get a nub of bone inside that tail to make it worth it.
That's what she said. Oh wow! You don't get a perfect one like that very often. I'm sorry.
Here's
I'm glad I have that
here's
recorded.
the softball. Whoop.
I'm glad I have that recorded. That somebody clip that. If anybody listens on Fountain.
I did the
Oh,
and it turned out
yep.
very good.
Oh, she said they're good because they gross her out. Well, yeah, you're playing with a rabbit's butt fluff. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, you're playing with dead things. Of course, it grosses you out. Everything grosses you out.
I mean, have you ever been processing an animal and accidentally had your fingers slip in their beehole?
No, usually it's on purpose
Oh, okay.
because you need to get a hold of it and have a secure grip while you cut it free.
Whatever you got to
It's
tell
nothing
yourself.
sexual.
Whatever you have to tell yourself.
It's not weird like that. God dang, what's wrong with you?
Uh-huh.
Wow. I don't know. I feel like maybe we got to wrap it up after that. Shit. What do we got here? Oh, just tails and ears so far. She says, yeah. No, I've never tried to mess with the preservation of any of the hide or stuff like that. I've thought about it. I've done some like European mount skulls and stuff. My own, but
we tried
don't-
hides, but we
Yeah.
were raising for meat and they were too
Yeah.
young and the hides were still too undeveloped to
And
make it worth the tanning process.
Yeah, tanning is such a pain in the ass.
We had a breeding process or breeding program going that we were breeding Flemish giants with Rex that we were going to make large Rex plush furs.
Yeah.
But it was going to be like 4 generations down that they were consistent. And we were
Right.
probably going to raise just a specific batches of those out to, we would have done them on a cycle. So they furred out right when we culled them and they were optimum size. But that was down the line and we decided we didn't want to be doing that anymore.
Someone on TikTok just asked, do I sell bully sticks for dogs? I don't really sell anything as far as meat products. I do processing for people and I do education and help teach people.
What kind of dogs you got, yo?
Yeah, what kind of dogs you got? But no, I don't have anything. They're not producing anything right now anymore. They're on the road.
Oh, fuck you.
So.
I produce all sorts of shit.
Do you have rabbits in the camper that I don't know about?
I got fucking content
Bully
coming out
sticks?
left
Yeah,
and right,
exactly,
motherfucker.
right? Nothing for your dog to chew on unless your dog likes good YouTube content.
Or rabbit foot keychains.
Right. Well, I'm sure they'd eat it. They would eat it for sure.
Oh yeah, we have links for buffalo bones on our website.
There you go. I'm sure.
BabyWalterandCompany.com.
Here's the thing.
BabyWalterandCompany.com for all your dog related links and affiliate links and reviews.
Worst case scenario, if you need to, you can always go to Amazon.libertymeat.solutions and find bully sticks
don't
there
do
to
that.
buy.
No, you're gonna want to go to BabyWalterandCompany.com and look under recommended products, and you'll find all your dog needs. Head to Amazon through those links. You help support Baby Walter and Company. St. Bernard and his 2 brothers traveling the road with their crazy fucking parents.
But you should check that out. Well, I mentioned it a little bit, but you haven't talked about the dogs at all. How is that on the road? How much fun is that?
It's fantastic. I love them. I love them so much.
What about the dogs? Tell us about them.
So we have 3 dogs.
They're like Pyrenees and like a Chihuahua in a camper. And like a rat terrier, right?
Yeah, 3 Chihuahuas in a camper. Before we decided we want to do this, we had 3 St. Bernards in Minnesota. We had an acre fenced in, and we lived where it got cold a lot, and it kind of made sense to have St. Bernards. They're fantastic dogs. They're gross. They're super gross.
The slobber.
They're not as well. The slobber, the hair, the eyes, the barfing, the everything. Yeah. But anyway, when they're outside, the majority of the time, they were inside dogs all the time. But when they're outside all the time, it's a lot easier to deal with. When you decide to move into a travel trailer with 3 St. Bernards and you figure, okay, we need lots of room. So if you're a camper and you have a travel trailer, we bought a 32-foot camper. 2 doors, 2 slides, pull behind, big. big. It's about as big as a full behind as you're going to get. For reasons I'm not going to get into, we didn't get a fifth wheel and all this shit, but we were like, we need to get as big as we can get. And for these dogs, they lay on top of us, man. They literally all stay within, like, there are multiple times in a day where we'll look down and all of us are actually connected in one way or another.
Dogs. That's what dogs do. They want to be touching you at all times.
The problem is our dogs weigh. Norman is okay, let's start with Clyde. Clyde is a 2-year-old, two and a half, just over 2. Saint Bernard Great Dane mix. And he weighs like 140 pounds. He's cool. He's got short hair, probably the cleanest of the 3.
Sounds like me right out of freaking high school.
Of the 3.
Yeah. 140 pounds, short hair, fairly clean. That changed. Anyway.
So we also have Norman, who is the same age, actually. Actually, they have the same birthday. They have the same dad, who was a Saint Bernard. And since Clyde's a Saint Bernard Great Dane mix, you can kind of figure out what happened. The breeder that we were getting Norman from was babysitting a Great Dane, and old Norman's dad pounded the shit out of her. And so we got Norman. Norman is a mess. He had some illness when he was younger, made it through it, but we
Pure Saint Bernard.
He's pure Saint Bernard. Yeah, he is pure Saint Bernard. And he had some shit when he was
straight Cujo.
When he was a puppy, but he made it through it, and we still adopted him. We took him home, and he weighs in around 270. 170. Or sorry, 170. Excuse me, I'm 270. If you see my man titties here, I'm 270. 170, and he is the sweetest thing in the world. If you watch our videos, you follow our content, you'll see him. He climbs in bed with me every morning, rolls over on his back, and we sing. And he wants to be laying on top of me at all times, on top of my feet. He thinks he's a lap dog at 170 pounds. And then we have Walter, who's the old man, and he's pretty gross. He likes to barf a lot and has a shitload of drool, but he is the most gorgeous Saint Bernard.
It's like most old men.
Yeah, he's the most gorgeous Saint Bernard. He's grumpy as shit. Like, his brothers get near him and he growls at him, and he's just an ornery old man. He's like a little over 3, and he weighs in at 160 pounds, and the 3 of us live in this fucking camper, and I love him to death. I would never get rid of them, but man, I can't wait till they're fucking gone.
I bet that 500 square foot or whatever you guys have feels really small when you got all 5 of you in one space.
The problem is, it wouldn't feel that small if they didn't insist on all being on top of us all the time.
Well, the thing is, if they're not in one place all on top of you, they're running around and shaking the entire camper.
Well, that's true. They do run through and wrestle, and my show will be going on in the morning.
And when you get a couple of 150 plus pound dogs wrestling,
I've wondered if they were going to go through the wall at some points in the past.
Because I mean, you're in an RV.
You've actually made me.
The walls are.
Oh yeah, I've made Kori stop them when they've been wrestling, because I literally did not want to have to go to the hardware store and buy wall material for the camper as they crash.
See you later, man. Sorry, TikTok of the Rebel Poultry over there. He another badass. He I think he might have been like the interview right after or the one after that, right after you on my show. He was a TikTok guy. One of my first TikTok guys that had an interview on my podcast.
Oh, you're hooking up with guys on TikTok now,
totally,
huh?
Totally, yeah. No, he's actually right over the Texas border in Oklahoma, and they raise a bunch of poultry. He's crossbreeding Cornish cross.
I know what he's doing. He's making sustainable Cornish cross on his property, so you don't have to buy them from the fucking feed store.
He's doing some cool shit, and they recently just got a bunch of property. They were doing it all in the backyard. They got a hold of some property. They're on acreage now, and they're
how many acreages?
I'm not sure. I need to check his shit out again, find out.
If anybody's got acreage that they don't know what to do with, let me know.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. Well, so tell us about the lots project as far as the
living outside the system. Living outside the system is what it stands for.
Okay.
Oh yeah, lots.
The property part, motherfucker.
Okay, so as part of our homestead up in Minnesota, we had extra fields and stuff that we weren't using, so we really looked into hip camp. It's a site that is like Airbnb for campers. You can set up sites on there. They get listed, they get marketed, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff. Great site. Well, when we decided to move on to the road, we've used it quite a bit.
Right.
Extensively in the East, because one of our strategies is to stay on Bureau of Land Management land, BLM land for your channel can get banned or protested.
Right.
We really like BLM. We love BLM.
Bureau of Land Management.
We love BLM land. Anyway.
I feel so white right now.
There is very little of that in the East, and so
there's not a lot.
One of our go-to,
you pretty much have to pay to camp
sites,
in those places.
One of our go-to sites to find places that aren't campgrounds, because as you can imagine, with 3 St. Bernards, a campground is not ideal. Being someplace more private, being someplace less busy.
It's easier to deal with private parties too than just the random public.
Yeah, and I'm very open with the people I'm going to stay with. I contact them ahead of time before booking, but I have had over 150 nights on Hip Camp as a guest. I have hosted on Hip Camp. I know what a Hip Camp needs to be. I know how the site works. I know what a guest is looking for. So I help people set that up. I do either online consultations. I do property management. I'm actually, when we're leaving here, we're headed to Tennessee to do a job on some raw property that somebody has a second property that they want to get some residual income off of, and we might set up some camps for them. And
just somebody
I know, guy I know that's
just some nobody. It's not even from
some
the
guy.
US. Yeah.
Some guy. He's not from the US.
Yep.
Yeah, he might review tools or something.
Those foreigners.
Anyway. But anyway, going to head up to Tennessee to see him. But if you're curious about getting Hip Camp started on your property, or getting signed up as a camper even, and how it works, I appreciate you hanging out and giving me 30 minutes and talking to me. You can sign up for free at my website. It's right there on the homepage, thelotsproject.com. Hit a 30-minute consultation, and we'll talk. We'll go over it, see if it's right for you. If it's not, then man, we just had a good chat and we met each other and connected and networked a little bit. But maybe it is for you. And if you sign up and you want to be a camper, I can tell you all about it and give you a cool link that will benefit both of us if you sign up and then use it and go camping.
Yeah.
So head to thelotsproject.com and sign up for a 30-minute free chat.
And all
we can chat about anything. I talk about cryptocurrency too.
Oh yeah. Pretty much anything you can think about. If you think of it, he will probably chat to you about it.
Oh, I'll talk about anything I know.
He'll talk to you about shit you may not even want him to talk to you
about.
I'll
talk to you about stuff that I know, all the things. Like, I'm a polymath, and I really kind of dive down a million roads. Like, you can ask Josh. We've had discussions about.
I think that's part of why we get along. We both have so many different diverse interests, and we're all in a million
But
things.
the best part
you can't
about
focus
it
on one fucking thing at a time.
The best part about it is if you sign up for a 30-minute free talk with me, and we blast out your problem. Say you just want to sign up for Coinbase, and I walk you through the steps, and we got another 25 minutes. I want to hear what you know. Yeah. Unless you want to know what I know, and you can ask me, you can pick my brain, you can ask me whatever you want. But if I don't understand what you know, I want you to explain it to me. I want to know what makes you click. I want to learn something from you. I want to make that 30 minutes valuable for both of us.
Because it's all about networking.
Yeah, I just want to make value for value, and that's kind of what we've talked about.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, networking is how we fucking ended up right here. You guys would have never had a thought of coming and hanging out in Southeast Texas if it wasn't for the fact that you were going to come down here and work with me. And you've been hanging out here and you like the area and you've seen a part of the country you've never seen before. But that's because we were hanging out on Telegram and networking and bullshitting before. So connecting with those
promise
people,
of oral sex helped.
Well, it wasn't so much of a promise as it was just, we haven't made good on that.
I wasn't saying from you.
Oh,
you.
No. So, okay, well, we're gonna close this up now. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it is all about networking. I mean, if you're in anything to do with social media, or even if you're not, that's huge. Just think about the fact that how many different business ideas and opportunities for both of us have come up, or things been fleshed out or been refined just from talking to bullshit, not just you and me, but other people in the community. And it just so happens, it's awesome when you're in an area. That's the cool thing about what he's doing traveling, is they can network with all these people online and then go to different places to work with people, but get to meet all the people that they already talked to constantly in person. And in person is such a different universe.
Person is 100% different vibe than online.
If
I don't care if it's live streaming.
I'm way
video
weirder
interviews.
in person than I am in
dude,
online.
this guy
I'm
is
weird
a trip.
as fuck online.
This guy's a trip. I do want to say though, as weird as the motherfucker is, he took care of us for sure. I gotta thank him.
Call it Southern hospitality. Y'all.
Yeah, whatever it is. It's I mean, you can call it whatever it is, but when we were down and out, and Kori and I both had some fucking kofu fung fucking bullshit, couldn't get out of bed for 3 days.
You couldn't even run your podcast.
I didn't do my podcast
that's how I knew
for a
it was
week.
bad.
Kori took time off of work, or no, she didn't. She should have. It was over Thanksgiving. We had days off. It was horrible. I didn't get out of bed for like 3 days. This dude brought us food. He brought us like turkey soup and all sorts of shit and beer. He brought us fucking beer when we were sick as shit. And that's the coolest thing that anybody could do. So I appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate it.
If I was in your position, I would hope somebody would.
I do understand that. That's what you kept saying, but not everybody does it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing.
No, I know that.
And then, just having me down here to hang out and work with you and give me an opportunity to come over and learn some shit from you and observe what you got going on. When we were stuck down here, we couldn't get out. I didn't want to run my fucking propane because, like, we weren't down and out. I don't want to say we weren't prepared.
They could have made it through.
We could have made it through,
but they were rough.
We preferred to burn wood over propane for heat because it's drier and it keeps the camper better. And this dude was willing to bring us firewood from the HEB, not the HEB, from the HEB. Which was the best firewood we could have found.
Well, let me tell you,
and he brought us fucking beer. Like, dude, every time this guy comes to rescue us, like, no questions asked, there's beer that is brought. I don't know if it's a Southern thing or what it is, but there's always fucking beer with the
it's not like there's a corner
packages.
store right there. You're kind of out in the pasture behind somebody's horse farm in the middle of nowhere. And literally when I came out, because they got stuck, I had to redirect about 15 miles at one point because there was a road that had a river running through it.
There was a river runs through.
I have a video of that. I think I sent it to you. You had it on your podcast at one point. But no, I mean, I'll tell you what, in this part of Texas, when it rains in the winter, it motherfucking rains.
Oh, it fucking rained, and it was
for
unusual.
Like 2 weeks.
It was from everybody I've talked to down here, it was like a freak. It was 6 days, I think, that it rained every day for 6 days straight. And it was like 2 inches a day.
At least, yeah.
And so it went from super dry sugar sand to everything is clay and sand gumbo.
This summer we were in a bad drought. I mean, it was hard. Hay fields were fucked up. I mean, people had a hard time with pasture and shit. It was a rough fucking summer, but we caught up like in 3 weeks.
Yeah, their pond on the property here went from like 18 feet down to like 6 feet above in like a week and a half.
And their road out from the camper out to the dirt road is a clay hill in sand.
Yeah.
So
all
when they got stuck, he found that really quick that it's not the you may know how to drive in the Minnesota winter, but the mud down here is something fucking else.
Dude, so what happens is your tire treads, you start driving and you got perfect traction. And this clay sand mix starts getting packed in your tire treads, and then all of a sudden you have fucking racing slicks.
Yeah, it's like one rotation, and it's like it bakes in like a brick, and there's no tread anymore.
They're absolutely flat.
It just stays in there.
I literally looked at my tires and I went, "Oh my god, my tires are all bald." And then I backed up, and the car sat for a couple days, and I walked out, and the sun had come out, and it hit the tires.
Falls off.
And I looked at the tires, and I was like, "My tires are fucking bald. What happened?" And then I realized Texas fucking is weird.
It's a weird mix of that gumbo clay and that really fine sand, and it makes basically the same material as a brick.
Oh, it is fucking
combines.
concrete
It's
for sure.
insane.
And
It's
that's
nuts.
what the landowners here said when we got stuck. They're
It's
like,
a little bit wet.
they're like, park or drive over the same area with your truck, back and forth, park on the same area, and it will turn to concrete. And literally 2 days ago, we had to pull us out, and the place that we had used for our truck parking, and we drove through, is like a concrete pad, and the campers parked. We're gonna have people come and do some service on it, and get the fuck out of here.
You won't get this fun. Try digging a post hole out here in summer.
Fuck that.
Yeah, it's really great. Yeah.
Why would you? I learned something. So here's a quick story for you. When we got our homestead in Minnesota, you know, because we all have 3 months to get everything done, I decided I am a manly man, and I have a farm now, and I'm gonna put a fucking fence in.
Fuck that.
I am going to put a fucking fence in, and I'm not just gonna put a little fucking fence in. I am going to fence in 1 fucking whole acre around my house. And not only am I not going to make this a square 1 acre, I am going to put short runs. I am going to put long runs. I'm going to put angled runs. I'm going to put a motherfucking curve on my driveway and put a woven wire 4-foot fucking fence that if I want to have sheep inside, if I want to have goats inside, I don't fucking care if I want a goddamn elephant inside that motherfucking fence. That's going to be there. I'm going to have 17 fucking gates. I'm going to have big gates and small gates and gates at every corner that I could possibly want to go into. And you know what happens when you have gates?
It's going to be all gates.
You have fucking more goddamn posts.
Yes.
And you know what happens when you have more posts? You have more T-posts. And you know what happens when you have more T-posts? You got more material. You have to buy more ratchets. You have to buy more wire.
You have to dig more holes.
You have to dig more fucking holes.
Yeah.
Now.
Did you do it?
Now.
Did you like rent like an auger?
No.
No, you did it all by hand, didn't you?
I researched the whole fucking project. I mapped it out on Google Maps and on several fencing sites. I mapped out the materials.
Like the sword fencing, or like the like fencing with a sword, or like fencing? Oh no, okay, no, like gates.
This is
okay,
red brand, red core, red whatever, red barn, whatever, the famous goddamn fencing company.
I have no idea, but okay.
They have a website. They have a thing. You can get your Google map thing, and you plot the fence out. It gives you how much fence you need, how many posts you need, all this shit. I ordered it. I had the goddamn the post delivered because I ordered some ungodly like $3,000 worth of posts.
Jesus.
And I bought an auger, a hand auger, you know, because up in Minnesota we do this
one
thing.
of them ice augers?
No, up in Minnesota we do this thing called ice fishing, and we have ice augers. And I had an ice auger. I had a real nice ice auger.
Probably would have done the job.
You had an ice auger, and when I went to the Menards, and I looked at the ice augers, and I went over and then I looked at the earth augers. And when I looked at the earth auger, it looked a whole lot like the ice auger.
Well, it's just a really big drill that has a really big drill bit.
And so here, what I did, you know, I went and I looked at the ice auger again, and I looked at the earth auger, and I looked at the serial numbers, and they were pretty much the same, real close though, but made by the same company. And so I went and I called the company that made the motor, and I said, hey, I was looking at the Menards, and they had the ice augers and the earth augers, and they had the very similar serial numbers, and I was wondering if they were the same motors. And the gentleman said, yes, it's the same motor, sir, but the clutch is different. The gearbox and the gear ratios are different for the ice fishing and the hole digging. They're going to be a little different. So you're going to want to get, if you're using in the summer, it's geared to run a little lighter and a little less hot, because you're going to be going in the hot weather,
less speed.
And when you're digging in the ice, and when you're digging on the ice, you know, you just want to shave it. You're not really digging, you're just shaving with you got to have your razor real sharp.
Why they don't use the same motors in the mud boats as they do the small mobiles?
Well, she has the snowmobiles and the snowmobiles, the snow machines, as we like to call them up real north. The snow machines.
Does that hold more than one person?
You're gonna have
the snow machine.
You're gonna have the snow machine, and then you're gonna have a different motor in the four-wheelers.
Oh yeah.
And the four-wheelers you're gonna use in the summer, and the ones you're gonna use to plow the driveway, you got to have the different oil in them, because the oil needs to be a little thicker in the winter. No, wait.
Kyle says so many fucking holes.
Yes, we're digging lots of holes. Anyway, yeah, well, fuck it. I bought
That's
a goddamn.
why it's the lots project, because there's lots of holes.
So I found out that the auger is the fucking same. The head is the same.
Right.
The gearbox,
itself, yeah.
the gearbox, everything is made different. So I said, all right, well, I'm gonna buy these 2 fucking augers. I'm gonna auger these fucking holes. It's not gonna be that big a deal. Fuck it. I grew up in Western New York. We had the most fertile goddamn soil in the country.
It's all fucking topsoil.
It was glacier fucking cut ravines that were all topsoil.
Yeah.
So I could dig like a 19-foot hole with a hand shovel and be like, oh yeah, it took me 45 minutes. So I started digging with this auger. I had 118 fucking posts. Do you want to know why I know it was 118 fucking posts? Because I fucking dug all those goddamn holes myself. And it took me 2.5 fucking months after work on weekends. Fucking, I had a goddamn pole that I would have to dig rocks out of. I fucking was in these holes.
How many posts did you average a day?
I don't fucking know. It was 118 posts over 3.5 fucking months. I was out there. I set the last fucking post of this fence. It was snowing. It was in the fucking dark. I got home from work. I was working 14-hour days, 90 miles away from the homestead. I borrowed a treble or a fucking what's that?
1.3 posts a day.
Yeah.
She did it. Kori did the math.
1.3 posts a day. So I had lights and I borrowed them from work. They were fucking bench lights. I ran extension cords out to the way back corner. It was a fucking acre. It was out away from the fucking house. I looked at the weather forecast. It was supposed to snow like 9 inches, and then it was supposed to get cold and it was supposed to freeze. I had 2 posts fucking left to do on the fence. I knew if I got the posts in the ground, I could run the fence. Like I said, get the posts, get the posts fucking set. So I borrow lights from work. I bust ass home. I get home at fucking 7 o'clock at night. It's in October. It's getting ready to snow. It's getting dark at like fucking 4:30 in the goddamn afternoon.
Here, anyway.
And I like get the lights on. I'm out there. I'm augering the hole, the last fucking hole, and I hit this huge fucking rock. I'm like, motherfucker. I get the post. The post hole digger. I'm like, I'm trying to get this rock out. I look up and the snow flurries are starting to come down, and I'm like, this is like a motherfucking movie where the guy is just gonna grab a gun out of his holster, stick it in his fucking mouth, and blow his fucking brains out. 3.5 fucking months to get this fence in. All I wanted to do is not have to take the goddamn dogs out on a leash the whole fucking winter. This is a 7-month winter coming up in Minnesota, and I have to get this one fucking post in before the ground freezes.
You've got that one post laying on the ground.
It's sitting there. It's it's cut to length. All I got to do is get the hole deep enough. I can scoop it out. I can level it. I don't even give a fuck if this thing is level. It's going to be an end post, and I'm going to crank it back anyway with the goddamn ratchet strap. I just need it in the fucking ground. And I hit a goddamn rock. It was like 20 inches below the ground. And I'm like, motherfucker, I need a 42-inch goddamn hole. I'm halfway there.
Dynamite.
Dude, I was out there till 10:30 that fucking night.
He's like, all I want for Christmas is a fence, and it's October.
There was accumulating snow on the ground.
Yep.
Everywhere except the fucking 8 around the hole because I was so fucking hot.
Fuck that.
That ground would not hold snow.
Snow before Thanksgiving is.
I found something when I was trying to drill holes. So this is cool how my neighbor was. This is how cool my fucking neighbor was.
It's cool how your neighbor was.
He owned the property. He grew up there. He saw like where there were buildings, where there were foundations.
We do.
Yeah, there's lightning bugs here.
Yeah.
Thanks. We were talking about that.
Sweet.
Cool.
Awesome.
Anyway.
No, that's good.
So my neighbor.
Sorry, northern people. Kyle, our bad.
My neighbor that
and June bugs, and it's
sold us
March.
the property. Sold us the property. He grew up there. His grandfather was the original property owner. He knew where all the old structures were and everything. So I'm putting this fence in. I'm coming up along up towards our garage. There's an old well there. And I start drilling these holes. And I would get like 10 inches in. And then I would start pulling rocks out. and they're almost like they're fitted in the hole, and I'm pulling them out, and I would get done pulling the rocks out, and I'd go from like 10 inches. I'd go from like 10 inches to like maybe 18 to 20 inches. So I'm looking at like maybe a 10-inch rock foundation or something. And then I drill the rest of my hole, and I get my post set, and I'd go along, and I'd start drilling the next hole, and I'd get a few inches below the topsoil, and weird as shit. So I did a couple of these, and I'm sitting there, and my neighbor was one to come over, and he would talk. And so he rides by on his four-wheeler, and he comes over. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing there?" And I said, "Oh, I'm putting a fence in." He's like, "Oh, running into a lot of rocks," as there's like piles of fucking rocks by every post.
You could just be building fence with rocks stacks. You know.
Oh, yeah. Weird, because he goes, "Yeah, it looks right about there is where the stone foundation of the old well house was. You're right on it. You're drilling holes right on it, right on that foundation line. You're going to be drilling holes for the whole
Why
thing."
all these rocks look like they were like mined out of somewhere? They're all the same
"Yeah,
size.
if you got that fence line run pretty straight, you're probably going to hit every single hole right on top of it." I said, "No, that would have been nice to know about 4 fucking holes ago. Thank you, sir."
It makes sense. How many more do I think I have to go? How big was this well house?
Motherfucker. I put my goddamn raised beds in the hill next to the house, out on this nice hill. What a big fucking mistake that was. If you want to learn more mistakes and what not to do, just follow me on thelostproject.com or ask me for a consult. I'll tell you exactly what not to do.
All this shit is in the YouTube comments. It's all going to be in the comments down here below. We probably do need to wrap this up. We've been an hour and a half.
Motherfucker, I got stories.
No, I know you do. But if you like his shit, he's going to be on live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
Oh, I'll be a peach. I've only had like 5 beers while we've been standing here talking.
We've been standing here talking, he had a beer in his hand when I pulled up. So
my wife is a big proponent of starting early and getting to bed early. So
I get that for sure. But I do need to get this podcast uploaded, and we've all got shit to do tomorrow. So if you like this shit, be sure to follow. Brian's in my group all the time. He's hanging out on my chats. He's usually here on my lives. And you can follow his shit 7 fucking episodes a week over at thelostproject.com. So if you like what we got going on here, you like seeing his content, you want to learn more about what they have going on and follow their journey on the road, be sure to check them out at thelostproject.com. Subscribe to them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And TikTok. Get them on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, you're not scared of the Chinese, then check him out. If he gets enough people, he'll be able to go live over there too. So that's some cool shit. So
and if I'm live on TikTok, look out.
Yeah.
I like to pick on them China guys.
And he's probably gonna do crazy shit like cuss at people while he makes coffee before he starts his show on TikTok. So
yeah. If you're on Clapper too, check out Clapper. I got the clap and I like it. I like it a lot. I'm trying it out for 90 days.
He didn't get it from me.
I got the clap and I'm giving it a 90-day try. I might not even get the shot. So find me on Clapper.
Oh, shit. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out. It's been an awesome, 4 months having y'all hang out down here. And they're wrapping up. It's going to be another week or so till they get out of here. They got a few things to wrap up before they roll out, but took the opportunity. So we all hung out. I don't know if you saw everything behind us. We had, you can't see it now because it's dark, but we cooked some burgers and bullshit it and everything before we started the show. So good.
It's almost like the meat guy brought meat for barbecue.
It's weird, meat and seasonings. That's what I always bring. So all right, guys.
Hey, join his Spice of the Month Club. Oh wait, you didn't launch it yet.
We're getting that ready to go as soon as I get some time to get some web shit going, and next year I have some product for you guys. Let me know. But if you need anything seasoning wise, you know where to find me. Check it out on Telegram.
But if you're in the area and you need product,
well, hey, I'll ship. But no, check it out. If you're on Telegram, go to Liberty Meat Chat and request. And if you're a real person, I'll add you in there. And we got a good chat in there every morning. I have my updates. I post a question. People answer. We talk. We bullshit. And we kind of plan out the next podcast episode and all the fun shit. And if you got a question on meat, self-sufficiency, food freedom, that's kind of where we all hang out. So, and you have a Telegram group.
Well, and there's lots of bullshit in Josh's chat too. We have a lot. We have a good time.
Mostly you show up and post some GIFs, and it's usually about poop.
Usually there's a really good conversation going about cutting meat. There's a few really cool butchers in there.
Yeah.
We got a good stuff rolling, and then I just throw a monkey wrench in the thing and say, "Fuck you all. Let's send this sideways." and the conversation goes spiral. But yeah, I do have a Telegram chat too. It's t.me/LotsChat. T.me/Lots.
Sound like you
chat.
practice that, damn.
Or you can find me on fountain.fm or all the other.
Okay. You can't even say your shit right now. Damn, dude. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out, and we will catch you guys later. Have a good one. Maybe I'll edit it. Oh, there we go.